really, for me, if I'm honest, it said he was emotionally disconnected. I felt alone in the marriage. I tried really hard to find ways to get through to him, and I couldn't. And so eventually I checked out and became very resentful and angry. And finally I got to the point where even though I had 2 little kids, no matter what he said or did, wasn't going to turn it around.
I see. And was it a contentious divorce, or was he?
It was. I think that for some people, this is my personal opinion about him, he would maybe tell you something different, but I think it wounded his ego to be left. And at that point, even though he was I was very quickly replaced by somebody who had nothing to do with the divorce, and I really believe that. But it wasn't 2 months into our separation till another woman was living in my house, part-time mothering my kids. And I thought that I encouraged, a friend of mine set them up, and I encouraged it, thinking he would be nicer to me and we would be amicable once he was dating, and it didn't help at all. To this day, I feel like it's not as amicable as I wish it was. But we can get along on the surface. We go to the graduations and the birthdays.
Is he still with that girl?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they seem very happy, and I'm happy for them. I really don't care.
Did he pay you alimony?
He paid me 2 years of alimony.
Okay.
But I think that he really got away with not paying me much at all because my own parents got divorced when I was young, and it was very contentious, and I was afraid of fighting. So I just bowed out and said, I think his tactic was, if you leave me, I'm not going to give you a lot of money and you won't have anything. I had no career at that point, none. I had been a stay-at-home mom, and I basically was like, screw off. I'm smart. I'm smarter than you. I'll figure it out. I don't need or want your money, which sounds noble, but it really was a shit show as I was a young single mom and didn't have any career for a while.
Shared custody?
Shared custody.
50-50?
Yeah. I'm really close to my dad, so I didn't want to deny him that.
Was he paying you child support?
Yes. And I did get child support all the way through until my kids went to college. But it really didn't amount to that much. I went through a lot of really hard years where I had to work, go to grad school, live on student loans, take care of my kids, and I didn't feel like he was really very helpful or understanding. It was more like, look at the bed you made, and now you have to lie in it.
Just curious, how much was he paying you? I'm sure it changed over the course of 18 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm divorced for 20 years. So at the beginning, I think I probably got around $6,000 a month in like child support and alimony. But this is a man who made a lot of money. So
well, can we separate the alimony and the child support? So
yeah, I just don't remember.
And alimony was 2 years, right?
2 years.
But so from the initiation of the divorce, at that point, he was paying you $6,000.
$7,000. So he was paying me, I just remembered. So I got about $2,500 a month for child support, something like that, and about $5,000 a month for alimony.
Was he a high earner?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is, again, I got divorced in 2005.
Yeah.
So this is a long...
That money went further back then.
Yes. Yes.
Well, so, but you said you only had alimony for 2 years.
Yeah.
For how much was the child support once the alimony stopped?
So the child support, I actually got less child support when the alimony stopped. But again, and this is why for any of you young women, if you ever find yourself in this situation, I was so traumatized by what my parents went through in New York State, where it's very hard to get divorced, watching them fight for years over money and custody, that I didn't want to haggle at all. And I should have, because maybe it sounds like no money to you, or maybe it sounds like a lot, but relative to what my ex-husband made, I really got very little money, and it was never enough to feel remotely comfortable, even working and going to school. So I wish I had fought a little harder. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I think this child support thing where the child support is for the benefit of the child, right? And so children, I mean, I don't know if the children had any illnesses or anything like that. No. They're not that expensive. And I think the child support system doesn't really take into consideration the actual cost of raising a child. So, I mean, I find it a bit dubious that, well, I wasn't getting paid enough. It sounds like you're getting paid, what, $2,000 to $3,000 a month? That's pretty good. I mean, that seems fair.
You are entitled to your opinion. But on the flip side, I made a decision with my husband at the time to relocate away from my family. I did better in college than he did. I graduated cum laude as a double major. We made a joint decision for me to stay home with the children. I then could not move. At the time that I got divorced, I had not worked for, 4 or 5 years at his request. So the point of this is that I can't afford at this juncture to even rent a place and provide a home for the child. So it's not just a matter of putting food on the table. The courts want you to at least give a decent standard of living for your children. Now, our standards of living, most people will argue in court, which I did not do, that you should maintain the same lifestyle you had. I was living a very high lifestyle at the time, and I went into living a very middle of the road lifestyle. And none of that money was like keeping me, and I went to work immediately. Whatever the opinion is, I didn't have enough money to do anything but go to work and immediately try to build a career so that I could support myself.
What state were you living in?
Florida.
So, you said, though, for the first 2 years, you were receiving the alimony combined with child support.
Yeah.
That's $7,000 a month for a 2-year period back in 2002? 2005.
It's $84,000 a year.
So, the housing prices back in Florida, maybe you could rent like a 2 to 3 bedroom house in Florida for $1,000, $2,000, maybe. I don't even know.
Not that low. Not that low. I bought a house. I bought a house.
2005 in Florida? Well, I don't know. In any case,
where I live in Winter Park, it's not inexpensive to live.
Taste, so Brian. No, you know what I mean.
I do have expensive taste, but I lost my ability to have an expensive taste. I hear what you're saying. It may sound like that, but I felt very poor. That's the reality.
Wait, it's not. But you had, first off, it probably wasn't just that. I'm assuming there was like a distribution of community property.
There was like no community. It was just that.
Was there a house?
There was a house, and at the end, I walked away with about $20,000 in the bank.
Can I make a point?